it and let it free. So I would read books. I would read. They say meditate. What is it? Close your eyes. Sit down.
Maybe small job.
Yes, and then all those things. Immediately you close your eyes, you sit
thoughts.
down. All those things that you are afraid of will come
back.
And thoughts tend to, by facing those ideas, those thoughts, those depressive, sad, hateful, fearful thoughts.
Yeah.
I realized that thoughts are just like waves. They come
flowing around
and they go. So it has no energy, or it has very little energy. It is the rumination of that thought that gives that thought the energy to either destroy you or to. So I'm learning. Then I found Sadhguru videos.
Wow.
So I could only sleep like 2 hours a night.
Really?
Yeah, you can't sleep when you have depression.
I guess so.
I could sleep like 2 hours a night. And then, but on nights that I would listen to Sadhguru, I could sleep maybe 4 hours. So I started, watching more and more of his videos. Started reading his stuff. He had done a book called The Inner Engineering. So I started reading more and more and more. Then I realized that I am still holding on to my childhood trauma. Because I am blaming other people for the troubles of my adult life.
Wow.
And when I gave up, I gave all of it up. Then I became this okyeamekwame. People think I'm controversial, but I'm not controversial. I just tell the truth now.
Because you speak your truth.
Exactly.
This is our society, man.
I just tell the truth now.
Bro.
Yes.
It's healthy, and we can feel it. It resonates when you're free. Right?
It does.
Yeah. The energy. You can't fake energy.
Yes, you can.
You can see this man is in a space where he's not worried about what you're thinking or anything. He's
not
speaking
at all.
his truth.
Yes.
That is very beautiful. And growing up in Ghana, where we are conditioned to Christianity, I grew up as a Christian. That's how they forced us.
Me too.
You too.
Yes.
How did you... Most people will run to the pastor.
Yes, because at that, I was fortunate enough to have lived in America, where I saw that the whole European... I don't want to call it civilized or industrial revolution had happened when the French people had given up on two things: the clergy and the aristocrats.
They shut it down.
Yes, so they had given up on the royal family, thinking that God gives them the opportunity to have blue blood, therefore they should rule over you.
Yes.
So when they gave up on those things, that was when machines came to being, because then people started trusting in themselves that they can create something to lessen the burden of their work. I had the opportunity to do that. But I'm not the type of person that throws away the baby with the bathing water.
Okay.
So I started looking at Christianity. I put the myths aside. I put the African borrowed stories aside. Then I put the functional spiritual stuff that I found, especially in the things that Jesus Christ himself said.
Okay.
Then a classic example will be love your neighbor as yourself.
Okay, practical things.
Yes, he will say that pray for your enemy. And then this guy has said forgive 77 times, 7 times. They caught him, they were killing him. And then he still asked for forgiveness for the guys who were killing him, though he had done nothing wrong.
Big statement, yeah.
You get it? So I started looking at the kingdom of God. It's not in a geographical place. It is within you.
Thank you.
I started looking at Jesus Christ saying that, and ye are gods.
The habit.
Isn't it written that you are gods, and because you know not to... So I put those things aside, like Matthew, the way he thought about how to deal with depression. I think Matthew 6:1 or something. He said, you can't add one strand of hair. So leave tomorrow for tomorrow.
Okay.
And look at this philosophy. The same philosophy every guru will tell you is that if you want to be free of depression, live in the moment.
Okay.
Because depression is hurt in the past. Anxiety is fear of the future.
Wicked.
So how do you separate that from what Christ said? So I had decided that I was going to be my own type of Christian. No, exactly.
Modern day.
My own type of Christian,
man.
where I've selected and I've chosen what I was going to work with.
Okay.
So on the journey, it made it a bit simple for me, to forgive myself and to have the courage to throw away what I didn't think was progressive on my path and keep
the ones that will help you.
The Christ-like or the Christ consciousness, and keep the enlightenment of love. Someone went to Christ and asked him, how is the kingdom of God like? And then he gave a parable of a guy that owed 5 cedis and went to beg. They forgave him. And then someone owed him 2 cedis and he went to fight. And therefore the king called him and destroyed him. That is how the kingdom of God. So the kingdom of God, even in the prayer, it only comes after you have learned to forgive those who trespass against you.
Okay.
So I come to say all that is talking about depression and anxiety. For me, the kingdom of God coming into man is when you have gotten to that state where you live in the moment.
Nothing bothers you, controls you. It's literally what Sadhguru is preaching. Listen
to
you now.
It's the same thing.
Letting go of the baggage.
Yes.
You see her. I think they've lied. And the English is the problem. If the Bible is they confuse us with the message. The grammar.
But I don't think they did it intentionally. They were just doing it for themselves.
Well, that would be intentional. I would argue it's intentional because clearly it's benefiting somebody and it's controlling the other group.
I know, but no one tells the group to let it control you.
Bro,
you have the power to choose.
You see, you've been on the journey.
Yes.
It's amazing. Even today, people argue with you.
They will. They'll say that, if you have read the Bible, why have you taken parts and left parts? I say, I don't understand those parts. I don't judge it. I just don't understand it.
So I'll leave it.
Yes, I'll deal with the Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John parts that I like, that I understand, and leave the rest.
Some of the names, be African names. Yeah, they are forcing it on us. We don't even like our names. We went through a period where almost every Ghanaian African wanted a European name, and now we are like, wait, the names don't even mean nothing. Some of the names, blue, white, sky, something, brown, and then our indigenous names that have meaning and power, we've thrown them away.
You see, do you know what Kwame means? Kwame.
What Saturday?
Yes, Saturday is
the weekly one.
But Kwame means akwadenyame.
Okay.
And do you know the emrane for Kwame? Ato apim. So apim. When you meet Kwame, you stop. Formidable.
That means
then another emrane for Kwame is otianankadro. The one that has the remedy for poison. Therefore, the healer. And then how do we link it? We link it when Moses met God in Africa. He asked him, what is your name? He said, my name is the I am that I am.
I am that I am.
And do you know what the Akan word for Saturday is? Me, da. The day for the I am that I am.
Rasta philosophy. Everything is Rastafari.
Exactly. Da. The day for the I am. That's why the Sabbath is Saturday for that Kwame God. So the Okyeame Kwame that our foremothers have always known is similar or the same as the Jewish pseudo-Christian Jewish Adonai,
the one that they
Jehovah, that they say is the supreme God. We have the supreme God.
We are the supreme beings. You see, when Moses was in Africa, let's be clear, because we are getting to the point where we have to be proud and announce Garden of Eden is Africa.
Exactly. And look at it this way. All the saints or the patriarchs, all of them had to come to Africa. Abraham had to come to Africa to know how to circumcise his son on the 8th day. How about Jacob? Africa. Isaac? Africa. Moses? Africa. Jesus Christ?
Africa.
What I say. So, this is where the thing is. It is our story. But it's just the literalists who take it and give it like a literal meaning, and it becomes a cross on some of the people who don't understand it by use it. It is supposed to set you free. I have nothing against Christianity. If you are, I think it's Hebrews or somewhere, it says that there are only 2 ways to worship God. It is to worship God in truth and in spirit. 2 ways. After Jesus Christ, the whole 3 years of sermon, they asked him, so how do we bring all this together? He said that just do 2 things: respect God, love God, and love
Your neighbor.
Your neighbor.
Charlie,
that is Christianity.
That is Christianity.
Yes.
They're confused with you.
Yes, and it's the same as what our foremothers said.
Yeah.
It's the same everywhere.
And even the language, when you pray in tree, we're speaking to TH for Kwajas, and we're talking about this. When you're praying in English versus when you're praying in your native tongue, it's different. In Pioneer Bono.
Is it?
Yeah.
Maybe when I used to pray.
Or even meditate. Or
yes.
Anything at all.
Yes.
Even when we're talking. If you start speaking to you can says it's a different character.
Charlie.
We are free.
Oba. You come. Come.
In Brandini words now, Kali. If you want to cry, because tree no mama is but
true.
you understand the depth of Kasano.
Yes, but you see at your age, you won't make
True.
If you learn one word every day, by 300 days, you have 300 words.
Tree professor. I'm not going to learn Portuguese and Spanish.
Exactly. Don't blame it on them. Yes.
Ghana Heritage Month. We beg you. I'm looking at the time now. Be a better conversation, interesting before we wrap up. 1999, your first award. Fast forward to last one year, 2002.
2022, yes.
Brother, over 10 years, 20 years in the game.
Yes, 20-something years.
Within that time, what has kept you? What are some of the characteristics that keep somebody?
Big question. I love this question. I think that it is my work ethics. That's one. The second one will be, it's that I do not own the arts. I think I am more a slave to the art than it is a slave of my thoughts. So I let it flow through me. The third one will be respect for the fans. When I'm in the studio making a song, I'm not just making a song. I'm making a song based on my previous record. I'm making a song that will bring development into the society. I'm making a song that will encourage someone else to do something. Beyond the creative, it's also my person as okyeamekwame, which is the figure, part of the figure that I was talking about.
Right.
Is that I have intentionally made my figure a developmental figure. So if you are looking for someone to speak to mentorship,
okay,
exactly, to health. I've done hepatitis for 14 years. Every year I've done this love relationship thing, be married to my wife beautifully for 15 years. I've written a book on the stuff. I love my children openly. I love the music openly, and such open conversations that we have, plus my work ethics. I also think that I also allow my managers to manage me.
Okay.
You know why this interview happened?
Why?
Because you were consistently talking to my wife, who made sure I got here without being late.
On time.
So
shout out to wifey.
Exactly. So the management, the social media people doing their work, branding people doing their work, even if it's one person. If that one person is diligent, then your primary energies can go into creating stuff.
Wow.
Yes.
This conversation, it's so big because part of the reason, the holdback for our industry, the people around the artist.
Yes.
That's what I noticed.
Yes.
You speak to a manager, the guy, like, he's not even in the mood to manage, but he's the manager. Because
he couldn't find a job at MTN.
Time check right. 5:25. Now, this man, when we say 20 years, that's decades, yeah? So I want to get in your mindset. You are working with the new artist.
Yes.
You've worked with Kwame Eugene.
Kim Paluta.
Hey, the new one. And Timba.
Yes.
That guy is crazy. I like him.
Yes.
Kinata for the new school.
I've worked with Adina. I've worked with everybody. I love young people. I actually envy young people.
This is the thing. We're going to get... I think you've gotten to the stage where you understand you need the youth exuberance to tap into.
Yes, completely.
When you were young, there's one feature here that... Daddy Lumba.
Yes.
That one, I want to understand working with Daddy Lumba, because he's almost like a mythical figure in our music space. That man, I won't talk to him, but he's how did you link up and working with him? Was experience?
So remember I told that in 99 we went on a world tour with him.
Right.
So I got the opportunity to be in the same hotel. Close to him. And the second thing is that Lumba and I, we come from the same village.
Okay.
So his town is about 1 kilometer away from mine. He comes from Atonsu. I come from B Mine in Suta.
Kumasi, yeah?
In Suta, yes. So when he realized that we are sort of family members, we